Hi, welcome back to the Watercolor Westport Stories podcast. Today we are back in the Frontenac model of Landark homes that are attached to one another, although they are beautiful and spacious and remarkable homes to live in. They do share neighbors in a way that gives people perhaps a price point that they find more affordable, and yet the living experience, Stephen, I think you would say is exceptional.
And yes, there's many people that, like my sister once upon a time, just wanted to move into a place where she could give the neighbor the key and go away for a week or a month at a time. And a lot of people feel more comfortable when they lived in an attached home, even though it's virtually soundproof, you can't hear anything. Oh, no. But there's a special sense of connectedness when there's that physical proximity.
Yeah, and this one even enjoys a beautiful walkout lower living level, which is remarkable, I think, with a beautiful upper level porch that has a really lovely view. So yeah, here we are. Today we've invited someone who is part of the Westport community in a very unique and special way. Although each one of our guests are so dear and near to our hearts that we have a hard time even speaking those words. But I think that there is something that happens when someone starts a new business venture in a new place with a theme that is just so unique, and that is a winery. And living within a village and having walkable access to a winery here in Watercolor is also a destination style lifestyle that provides, I think, a unique homeowner experience if you were to choose to live here. But today we're really going to focus in on a story that has unfolded with such beauty and grace, and has had some challenges, but also they've overcome some unique challenges to growing grapes in Westport and harvesting them, and then starting a winery that has now become just a destination of its own that is just so lovely. So Allison Scheuermann, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. I know it's certainly a busy time as you reopen for the summer season, and I just so appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk to us.
Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so I know that part of what we're trying to do with Watercolor Stories podcast is to give people an insight into some of the unique ways that people have grown in a community and have come to choose Westport as home. And I know you have part of that is coming to choose Westport, and how you came here and what was the preamble to that. And I would just love to get to that, because I think it can be inspiring. People are often can see themselves maybe in someone else's journey, and then that causes them to reflect and say, wow, maybe I could do that too. Maybe not start a winery, but some of the starting to come to live in Westport.
Yeah, this starting the winery evolved. So that's not the beginning of our story, but my husband was born and raised here, so Francois. And of course, one of our first weekend dates was here, so he could show off this beautiful place and hook me. So that happened. We came to the village. I was in love with it the very first time I got lost, literally. Couldn't find his house. and we boated and had a really nice, unique weekend. The people, like the adventures of the nightlife at the time was amazing. And just when you're coming from the city and you see what you see as far as the water, and even just driving from one city to the other, the amount of water that we get to see and lay eyes on was spectacular for me. So it was an easy yes. Yes, I'm moving to Westport. So yeah, so we got married here very early on in our relationship and started a family. So yeah.
That's so
neat.
neat.
How did you meet Francois?
Oh dear. I can't tell that whole story.
Okay, or even just a snippet.
I'm just kidding. We met at an Amway convention. Oh. Yeah, so we were network marketing. Both of us had life happening. His parents were very involved as well. And I was just that girl that was trying something to create an income for myself in my young 20s. So
yes.
And
you had an entrepreneurial spirit, and you needed an outlet. So you were,
I needed money.
Yeah, and that absolutely too. Yeah, that's right.
So that's how we met originally, and then months after meeting, we ended up dating, and then soon after that got married, and we're 5 babies later. So yes, we moved into his parents had bought a house, a second home to to help family, and that family rented from them to be together their whole life. And then as their kids got older, it was the very next step. So it happened fast because we were ready to find a home, and that one was available. So we just took it. We lived in the village for 10 years, and our house was not small, but small to most people. I got told many times, every time I had a kid, they were like, oh, you know, that place is, it's not gonna get any bigger, and your children are. And so, but we loved it. We had access to walking the village all day, every day, and I still meet people today that say, I remember when you strolled 5 kids down the street in one stroller, like, you know, Jasmine would be up through the middle, and so anyways, it's been a journey, a really nice one.
That's amazing.
So
yeah, and then so that entrepreneurial spirit you've carried into a business venture. What was the inspiration to building a winery? I mean, Eastern Ontario is not known for too many wineries. The climate, I mean, you found a really thriving place for...
We didn't plan it. To be honest, this is all led, one story after the other.
Yes.
We tried multiple businesses, from snowplowing to home and cottage watching to, I was doing education funds. We were doing, you know, the network was still a thing. I did makeup. Francois was a prison guard, started out a cook, turned to prison guard, and life evolved. We took on multiple projects for different restaurants, setting up kitchens, and so like we were trying to get him out of the pen was our end goal. It was a very negative environment, and we wanted to get him home, so whatever that was to look like. So we tried lots of business. The thing that brought us to the winery was the fact that we moved into that house. It was 14 and a half acres. Good friends of ours are realtors, and they said, you really do not fit in your home. You need to shop. And I was just like, finally one day I was like, fine, I'll go see what you're talking about. So we went, and this house was very big to me, who was not used to that. And 14 and a half acres, 2 fields, huge tree line between to the highway, another line of sumacs that we couldn't see either highway. We couldn't see the road from anywhere. So the house was like a hidden gem. And the acreage was, he maintained 4 acres before we got there. So it was really beautiful. And it seemed unrealistic to us at the time. So we ended up making a relationship with this couple, and one thing led to the other. It's another story. But we ended up in this home. And of course, visionary, we were thinking, how can we create a residual income from this property? That was our first thought. After that, we thought wheatgrass for all the Toronto people where I just left. You know, they all want green stuff, so let's make them some green stuff. Then, that's funny. And then we thought cherry trees long term. Like, we were just throwing stuff in the wind.
Sure.
Then we hosted a party for his parents' 40th anniversary, and it was gorgeous. Francois is a 5-star Swiss trained chef. His cooking is amazing. So he did all of his, whatever he does to make food amazing for these people. And actually, our artichoke dip comes from that very party. We made it for that night.
Really? I know it's on your menu.
To this day, we can't take it off. People just want it. So,
it is fantastic.
Yeah. Our bruschetta came from that party, which was the thing we served the very first month when we opened, because we needed to have food with alcohol. That was the thing. And that was the journey into food. We weren't planning food. We actually weren't even planning wine at first, just personal. We were thinking, let's grow grapes. This is a south-facing slope, so we do a lot of foraging. We picked fiddleheads with our family. It was just a fun, free to-do in the bush, in the woods, on the water side, and we ended up selling them to grocery stores local, because we picked a lot. We had 5 babies going around in rubber boots picking fiddleheads, and then it was fun to create the wash bin and sell them, and then we took the money and bought ice cream. So
beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway, fast forward, that party I mentioned, we were already having the vision of south-facing slope, grape rows, and all of this, only because Francois said, there's a girl that I work with who she does tours in the county, and there's a whole bunch of vineyards. Like, that's how much we didn't know when we started. And she said she'll take us on tour anytime to see if Ontario has good wine, because everything we do, we want it to be extremely yummy, extremely beautiful presentation.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yes, absolutely. Your reputation is just impeccable in any of the dining community. That is what happens. Everyone enjoys their experience, and the food is top quality.
Yeah, I like food. So
yes.
Actually, his seasoning spice, which is another one of our businesses, is what snagged me fully. We were having a barbecue at his parents', and I was like, "What is on this meat?" And I couldn't believe it. So I ended up saying, when his mom finally told me that he made it, I was like, "You make what's on this meat? Put it in a bottle and I'll marry you." And that's our standing joke. Yeah. We actually trademarked love at first spice, because one of our butchers said that when I was telling him the story, and he was like, "Oh my gosh." And so it was like, I'm fed by my stomach, loved by my stomach. I'm just kidding. So anyways, we like good food, end of story.
Yes.
And good things. So we didn't want to attempt growing grapes if we weren't going to make yummy wine.
Right.
We would rather buy grapes from Chile or somewhere, California, to make our own wine, because we do everything up for ourselves. We very much homesteaders, which also led us into maple syruping. We had 750 taps at one time. Oh, so like just stuff, we were trying, we were throwing darts basically.
Yes.
So we have these 35 friends that are all my in-laws' besties, and some of them very wealthy, and others just like really full of heart. And we were painting this picture of this vineyard. My girlfriend at the time was playing harp for their celebration, and she was a homeschooling mom with me, and she's got this whole elegant thing going on, and Francois and I are like telling our friends at the table, like, can you imagine if this field was all grapes? Like, take that tree line out, picture a rolling vineyard. And they were all like, oh yeah, that would be beautiful. And we were kind of half hoping that one of them would have said, hey guys, let's go, you need help.
Let's do it, yes, yeah.
And that didn't happen.
Catch the vision right away.
Yeah, so they liked it, didn't happen. We ended the night with yodeling, and it was fantastic, but we didn't have any more go forward with that. And we were strapped because of our situation to get into that home. We kind of just landed there just. Yeah. And I think that's a really humble beginning, and it was fun. So we ended up, okay, no one wants to give us money right now. Let's test the soil for $30. We sent it off to Guelph. We started watching the weather patterns just to see how the wind comes in, because it is on a hill, and it does have a throughway at the top of our house, but then it's different at the bottom. We've had days where there's frost to the base of the grass and then not in the vineyard. I'm sure it's just a hedge covering of blessing. It is. However, that's the way the land falls. And we've got placed there. The home alone,
and you're stewarding it well.
Thank you.
You've started something that you had a vision for, but you're tending to it with such care.
So I suppose the vision came.
Yes.
And then we were hosting, this part gets me going, so I might need Kleenex, but we had good friends of ours who are also godparents to some of my husband's siblings.
Okay.
And we're servants, like we like to serve. So
yes, you're generous.
If we're at a party, we're going to help with the dishes. We're going to bring the food. We're going to, it's just who we are. And that happened at a Christmas party. So fast forward from that 2010 party originally. And we are at a Christmas party, and these folks said, you know what? You guys have what it takes. Get your project started. I'm going to help you.
Wow.
On a handshake.
Isn't that remarkable?
On a handshake. So that's how we got our beginning. We didn't even know what it looked like. No clue what the business aspect was going to look like. Like really went in just doing what was next. And that's been our story all along. We're always kind of filling gaps, moving along. Our kids have all been involved. Heidi was 1 when we started planting grapes, 1.5, and moving into that 2-year mark, and she would be like, here's another Chardonnay, pa. And so we got the rows planted like that, just with the family, a lot of friends coming around. They saw the vision too, really loved what we were doing. And it was just a spin-off of what we already did as far as, if we were foraging, we'd invite our friends to come with, and then we'd have a barbecue. So it was a really, that was how the expression was. That's how we ended up with the hands-on help, was just by,
Yeah,
hanging
it's not
out
following
together.
someone else's recipe necessarily. It's building your own and going one step at a time and just, making the next best decision, which in your mind was be generous, be inclusive, build community, which
That's
I think
definitely
is
our motto.
incredible. Yeah. I've just only been on the receiving end of your hospitality in different forms, and it's a palpable thing. You just feel it, and I can understand how that would build just beautiful relationships for you that have supported your dreams, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I know you've experienced that too, haven't you, Stephen, as a land developer, builder, growing this community over the number of years that we've been here. You know, we're on 5 years now since the shovel went in the ground?
Yeah, and always the 5 years before that, one of the first places we would want to bring the architects and the land planners and the engineers was Francois and Allison's winery, because there's just something about iconic food and beverage that when you have just such a blessed place, you want to bring your friends there and share it with them because it's lovely, and just to be treated so with such unreasonable hospitality. It's amazing the way you make people feel and your whole team. I think I was there last summer and you said there's like 44 part-time people now that you have on your team.
We're definitely less than that, running with a stronger, more full-time people, but it's a good crew. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And that is our number one motto, making sure people feel super welcome the minute they hit the top of the hill. You know, and that's that feeling to be welcomed, even if it's just with your eyes, because you're too busy to go. They get it, and it's funny when it's part of our some of the positive comments that we get are on that, you know, welcome right from the get-go. And that's my favorite.
It's not a pretentious winery where you feel out of place.
No.
Or that if you don't know enough about, you know.
In fact, anyone watching this podcast knows I never look like the makeup. Never.
Usually it's apron on, hair in a ponytail, and running the dishes or something.
All of it.
Yeah. So when did you actually harvest your first basket of grapes and your vintage that you could actually use for the wine production?
So we turned 2013 into we picked the grapes in 2013 from the Chardonnay and the Pinot Noir, and that was our first vintage. So 2014 is when that released.
Wow.
And we weren't open yet legally, so we had to bootleg that. You can cut that. No, I'm just kidding.
2015 maybe is when the doors officially opened.
2015 was when we,
Okay, that's really amazing.
It was a learning curve doing business in Westport. Obviously, no one had done a winery yet, so it was a learning curve for all people involved, from council to different levels of government to all of it. So we didn't open the day we wanted. We wanted to launch July 1st, and it was August 28th. But again, I think that's a divine moment in time, because we moved into that house on August 28th. And we opened on August 28th, and the build up from July 1st to August 28th that first year was, I'm going to say insane. We had people lined up all the way down the driveway to just have a taste of our wine.
Wow.
For the first time, it was very, we were humbled.
Oh, that's really special. Wow.
Yeah.
And did you, as you look back, did you have mentors along the way in the wine making?
100,000%.
Right.
Yeah. So you can't do anything good without a mentor. So
I agree.
Yes, and Norman Hardy was our number one. And he was very generous, from Prince Edward County.
Okay.
As generous as we are, he is more generous, and he gave to us everything he knows.
Wow.
So we worked for him very hard, doing whatever needed to be done. From one time I left my very first and only 10K race with my dad. My dad had a vision for his family to run with him, so I did it.
Wow. It's not happening again?
I think it might as I get older, but anyway. But he, so he had this vision, but then I got done that race, and Norm called, and he was like, I need help on tasting bar, and I was like, I can't go for lunch, guys, I have to go help Norm. And so I ran back to Prince Edward County from Toronto, was with them for the day. They had a couple of huge parties, and because what he gave to us, you can't say no. It was amazing. So Francois moved in there for 5 harvests.
It's a debt of gratitude. It's not a debt of
absolutely.
Of any other ledger.
Absolutely,
it's just,
no.
It's a heart thing. This is who I'm with. This is my people, and I'm going to show up for them.
And he really didn't need any of our help. Really, he had a lot of people to call on, but that day he was stuck, and I was like, I'm going to make it happen. Awesome. Francois moved in for 5 years, and he literally worked nights so that he could get there for the day and work all day, and then we finally put a little trailer in there so that he could get some sleep before going back to work all night. And so his life was aggressive for a little while, and I was home with our own plants tending to an entire vineyard. Of course his mom and dad would come around too, and siblings, but then we had my 5 kids who were homeschooling till I felt too guilty, and I thought, okay, they better go to school. So that happened for a little while, but
yeah. Feel guilty. That is the least productive emotion. And I've met some of your children, and they have been nurtured so beautifully. So the thing with those early days, though, that I want to just go back to just for a minute is trying to see that vision and trying to see just a pattern in what you see next. What do you see on the threshold for Scheuermann's, let's say, in the next 2 to 5 years kind of thing, if you were to sit back and say, this is our inspiration? Because I know with watercolor, we have ideas. We have parks, we've got stream corridors that will turn into trails. We have, like on the land planning side, you've done so much work.
So that it's a walkable trail right to the across the road from the winery.
I think business as we do it comes with challenges, as we both know. And that aspect of what we do is not fun. It's a journey we're walking through, and we will walk through. So, those types of things, we have some scenarios that we're working through still to this day that so to get our business where it's welcome by the village is a big thing. And then I would like to see our business somewhat similar, because we've often talked about, and that was the original plan, was to put in a building so we can have inside dining, and that might happen, but I don't think I ever want to take away the outside rustic feel, because that's what people they come up and they can't explain it. They're like, they hear, they smell, they're with the fire, it's coming over them, they're listening to the music, they're watching the lake, they're looking at the vineyard, like they can't explain it. And you and I know exactly what that is as far as what they're experiencing, that peace. But I think, so we want to keep that, because that's special. And that whole rustic welcome to the winery, I just got out of the vineyard, I'm going to serve you kind of realness. Like you're, it's purple under your nails or whatever,
I
tried to clean them over.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that about you today. Oh my goodness.
I scrubbed for like half an hour.
It's like Steve dusting the drywall off of his pants. The drywall dust, just do one of these, walk in and say, hey, here we are.
Yes.
But that's just who you are and what you're doing.
I think that's part of what people love.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I pretend that one day I'm going to take it away, but honestly, I'd rather be in the garden. I love the people, but I'd rather be in the garden and or the vineyard. So that happens, because then I get to do both. And they get to experience both in a way.
Yes.
So, but I have, we have the 4.5 acres that's attached to us. That's not title merged. So we do have some fun plans with that, and I'm not going to disclose that yet.
Of course not.
So there's growth, not necessarily attached to the winery business, but complementary. And
much like the Dome, I have not been there yet. I'd love you to share about that. Have you walked through it yet?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then you guys take over. What's it like?
Our family is very much homestead, so we want to be able to supply everything we need from our own place.
Sure.
Permaculture.
Okay.
From the worms and the bacteria within the soils to my tomatoes and my saffron for my rice. So this dome spurred because we like to eat moringa. We ended up shopping to see how we could have one in our zone, because it's not something that you can grow and keep alive over our winters. So that dome kind of structure came to my search, and it began this journey. So we've been looking at it for 3 years prior,
Okay.
and saving our pennies towards it. And it finally broke ground last October, and November we had it up in a 3-day stretch once the ground was prepared, because we did geothermal and went 8 feet down. But
Okay.
so you've been inside. We're not done. It's still got some construction going on, but on the interior beds.
How big
So,
is it?
42-foot diameter.
Oh, so that's
So
a significant
we would like
space
to-
to put raised beds in and plant material. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned one crop moringa. What do you hope to, I mean, you want to introduce a
Well, we have
variety?
another local business in town, and he's making fig trees from his grafting skills.
Fig trees.
Fig trees. He's
Amazing.
even planted figs that survived the winter this year. He's a brilliant farmer, brilliant green thumb gardener. He's got an orchard right just out of the village.
Okay.
And so I'm blessed to have him as a friend, and we bought some fig trees from him. So I have 4 varieties of figs on 2 trees. Super delicious, and he's very thrilled to see what's happening on them. He was over yesterday to say like, oh, so that's another part of our village and our living is the community. It just gets bigger. Like your connections just get bigger. You need something, it's right actually beside you. My beekeeping mentor lives right there. My fig tree mentor, he lives right there. We have it all right there. We can buy meat right there. We can buy, well, I make my own eggs and my meat, but we can buy
Yes.
right there.
Yes.
It's, yeah.
That's amazing.
So for us, the homesteading part is very much, that's why we picked our own leeks, our own fiddleheads, our own everything you can think of that's wild. We've been wild foraging for years and years, mostly because we started out broke. We needed to eat roadkill for a living for my kids, and that's just the way it was. And we had a lot of fun doing it. So that led to a lot of knowledge because you have to know what's good and what's not good.
Sure, of course.
And then the dome is just a provision for whoever 100 people if we don't end up having a source one day. And in the meantime, it's something fun to play with unique varieties of food and also offer fresh produce to my watercolor friends and Westport villagers over the winter months when it's not fresh when we're bringing it in from.
So it's not intended necessarily to source the winery on the menu.
It will not.
It will not.
It would never be enough.
It's not a sustaining.
We've always taken our own herbs. We do produce our own basil anyway. We do produce our own flowers that, as you know, our plates are decorated.
Yes.
So like all of those things come from.
Nasturtium and the different things in the salad that are just gorgeous.
So I was able to do that a lot earlier this year, which was great because we opened a lot earlier this year. So our steak plates had fresh flowers from our place right off the hop. So in that regard, yes, we will end up doing some fun different aquaponics and some seaweeds and hopefully some fish. But it's a learning curve, so we're right there with the development of that.
And figuring out what it'll allow, what beauty you can draw from it, and just bring more.
I think watercolor needs one. And again, local business, Arctic Acres. When I searched for this dome, because I found Joe Blow, whoever was on the internet, with this dome structure, and it created this homework. I ended up finding Arctic Acres. I found growing spaces first in Colorado, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. It's so far. It's in the States, blah, blah, blah. And then somehow I came across Arctic Acres, and his story is our very own Rado District High School, which is one of our high school choices when you live in Westport.
Yes.
And he is the same age as my son-in-law, 28, 29 years old, and created, his story is amazing. And we were able to go tomorrow. We called and said, can we come and see these things? And we went the next day. Like, that's not real. Like, that doesn't happen.
That's right.
So I thought I was going to have to drive 3 hours to somewhere to see these things.
Yes.
And it was literally in my backyard. So that was incredible. He led us to he showed us his. Then we got to go and see a few other ones in the area. And it became a real, we need this. This is spectacular. And it's a really nice way to garden. So like you could do community gardening.
Controlled climate.
It does take somebody to completely manage it because, but the picking of the weeds and, pinching your herbs and keeping the growth back and misting the stuff, like all your people could go and do this,
It sounds so dreamy.
Yeah.
It does sound
we
so
love to
dreamy.
dream.
And we are dreaming.
Yes.
Because when you have 220 acres that you're stewarding, just like whatever we're called to steward, it's a responsibility and it's a gift and a blessing. So you can either be burdened by it or figure out how you can be a blessing by it. And we definitely want to be a blessing, as do you. And you already are to so many.
Thank you.
How many people do you think come to the winery every year, roughly?
Every year? Oh, can I have a calculator?
It would be a very large number of people.
Yeah, very large.
In the thousands?
More.
Oh, in the 10,000?
More, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
there's a lot of repeat too, so, you know.
Yes. Those of us that are addicted to the salad that has the hibiscus flower on it?
Yeah. We have people drive from Orleans for that salad.
Oh, no doubt.
We have people drive from Toronto just to eat and drive home again. You know, they'll go see Spy Rock again and dine with us and then relax and then drive home. I think that happened with the onset of the pandemic back in the day, but they still do it. And it's amazing to see them, you know. They become people that we admire. And so, but the interesting thing is, like, people always ask us, why don't you have signs on your bathroom? It's literally a thing.
Signs on your bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because it gives us the opportunity to know who's brand new. It's so funny. So, they say, where's the washroom? Or we say, have you dined with us before? No, okay, well, you'll find the bathrooms behind the barrels and da-da-da. Okay. So it gives us the opportunity to know how many newbies are coming in.
Right.
And that's the way that is. So
strategic. Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's really
smart.
So
we serve this year especially, there's so many new people, which is great for you guys too, because we're breaking up the subdivision. So.
And for your winery operations, are you employing local sort of people within the village? And that's because that's sort of part of the whole growth of the village as well, is to have wonderful, nurturing employment opportunities for people. Yeah.
I will say it's a little hard because like we've got 7-year students. When they start, they don't leave. And that's a blessing to me. It's not a blessing to the new kid that wants a job.
No,
but yes, it's amazing. We have a lot of locals. They stay with us into university typically, and then they become them, and we still get to see them. So we are really we have a treasure of people that are in our life till this day that started out in our fields with us, or in those very beginning moments when we were trying to make nachos on cast iron pans and stuff like that. So
that's beautiful. And do you still do community harvest days?
Oh, yes.
Okay, tell me about that. I've never attended one, but I think it would be amazing to be part of that.
You should come. That way you can talk it up. Yeah. It's a day.
Yes, but I know it's short notice. You got to be ready because you don't know when the harvest day is going to come.
Well, in all honesty, it's gotten big. So 100 people is kind of a nice number.
Okay.
And so between not needing the more, but wanting to give people the opportunity, and it always works out. Sometimes, the odd time we've had more than 100 and it's still fine. It's just that between how many bins we have, the tractor that has to get through the rows, like there's a strategic plan. It's not about feeding them. It's more about we can't keep them working and they're like, oh, we're done. So meaningful to do.
Yes.
The consensus from Harvest Day is that they can't explain what they just experienced.
Yes.
They're typically either from a city or have been with us before, or been with us for years and years and know that you just don't miss that day. Yeah.
Isn't that
so
amazing?
Being with the plants, like they're grounding all day long. They are touching the plants. They're cutting what has to be cut off.
Yeah.
They're literally smelling the fruit. They're seeing sometimes things that have to be removed and like literally getting dirty and sticky and up and down like a yo-yo, stuff they don't do all day long normally. And to be in the field rows with that many people, half of us start singing songs, half of us, and then just the camaraderie of passing bins, like that community network doesn't happen for a lot of people.
It doesn't.
And we get to offer an amazing day. And the that community, like the grasp on who they are to us after they've been with us for a day. It's like all year long. Once in a while, someone slips through the cracks, and I didn't now because we kind of have more people. So sadly, I don't know everybody sometimes, and they're like, "Oh, we were here for harvest," and I'm like, "You were." Like, so, you know,
Isn't that sweet?
But still, they
feel so
they
connected.
feel,
and
it's special. They hear part of the story. They hear our gratitude, because we don't want to do it without them. It's something you can buy a machine to do. I will never do that, because those orange clips are like where it's at. We get to touch and feel the fruit. The wine that we produce has been chosen, you know, and sometimes it goes onto a belt afterwards and make sure it's proper. You know, different things we have to manage, like ladybugs, and we want to make sure there's not a one that drops into that entire bin of grapes. And so if that happens, we literally spend hours picking to get them out before it'll go to a press. And so, like, bringing the hands in to do that, you put your hands in that juice and touch and smell and feel it.
Yeah. Isn't that one of the hallmarks of the Blue Zones? If you go out to your garden and be involved with the earth, that it improves your longevity?
Absolutely.
It is,
I'm pretty sure that's one of those.
And
start your day with, you know, the outdoors and
that's why I wear
to your
these.
garden. Can
you get these? You got these? These are...
You're grounded with those.
Yeah, just leather bottoms. These are sold right here in Westport. So we, my in-laws, this is their business. I'm blessed by them.
Amazing.
Happy feet.
And the name of the company is?
The Brown Bear.
The Brown Bear.
The Brown Bear. So yeah, just for that longevity piece. And we're imagining, nothing fits into a cookie cutter. Land Arc doesn't fit into a cookie cutter. We draw inspiration from so many different places, and there are things that we do that model communities that we know about, and there are things that we're doing that model lifestyles that we know about, and we're trying to overlay them and weave them into something that is unique and one of a kind of its own. And we use the word Blue Zone, but we know that we don't have all the data to support it, and we're not trying to use it as a, you know, irresponsible marketing tool. But there's something about being involved with the land and nature and people.
And other stories. Richard Louvre wrote a book, one of our mentors, a virtual mentor, but I've had the pleasure of having lunch and dinner with Steve Nygren. He was inspired by an author, Richard Louvre, who wrote Last Child in the Woods. And in that book and in other books, many that I've read about nature fix, some call it forest bathing.
Right.
Just the whole idea that a lot of children's stress and adult stress goes away if you spend an hour or an hour and a half in the woods every day, because you're connected to nature. And that's a big thing that we talk about here is, I had the pleasure of going hiking Saturday. My wife Diana and I went hiking with 3 other families who live in the community and another family that are nearby. And we went to Frontenac Park, and I said, well, how great is it going to be when we can do a 10 or 12 kilometer hike right in our community when all the trails come to life? And then walk to lunch at the winery, or walk to lunch at the brewery or the cove or the harbor. So there's all these things that we're learning from others about the importance of being connected to nature and to neighbor, because it's one of those intangible things that we used to have 100 years ago, but we've sadly lost. We've become disconnected from nature and neighbor. But it doesn't have to be that way, and you're proving to be a solution to a whole bunch of people's problems they didn't even know they had.
I could create solution for anybody all summer long if they want to come help us.
There you go. Yeah. I love it. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
But no, that's exciting, and I think it's inspiring. It's just inspiring. The longevity piece, though, I want to talk about, because I think you plan to make Westport home for a very long time. Do you see yourself keeping your hand in things? So many people that, you know, grow these wildly successful businesses want to pull away, but you sound like this is what you love.
I would love my kids to take over too. Be very much a part. They already are.
Yes.
And then just to we have to learn how to make that happen. But yeah, I mean, I tell my kids all day long, and you can ask any one of them if this is true. Like set us up a tiny house, because one day, like, the winery will be the house that it is, but then I'm going to live in your yard for a few weeks and your yard for a few weeks. And in time, there'll be grandkids that'll have one there too. No, so I do want to stay more connected with my family than anything else physical. But
Yes.
the ground it's become precious to us. But of
Yes.
course, we're obedient in the moment. So that's a long-term answer.
Yeah.
We're excited about the idea of growing what we have as far as permaculture, and allowing people to be a part of that.
And having been part of Westport before the advent of watercolor, how are you finding your sort of sustainability as a business side of things, adding to, like, are the homeowners participating with you in community? Have you found,
Yeah, we have some really lovely customers from here, the subdivision. Also, some have come to harvest, jumped right in right away.
Nice.
And like Patrick, he's been with us multiple times, and you do exercise with others. Like, you just know them on a different level than just the neighbor, you know? So it's been great. I love it.
That's really super. That's really neat. Well, I guess I feel that it has been just such a joy to sit with you, to hear your story, to hear things I'd never heard before when I thought I knew some of the story. And I hope that our listeners and viewers feel the same, because certainly reading your website bio and, you know, watching your Instagram is one side of things, and then having visited you is another layer for sure. But sitting with you today, I really appreciate you spending the time with us. So thank you. Thanks for joining us on our Watercolor Westport Stories journey as we talk to different individuals who have had an experience that they want to share with us as a community, and to inspire you to come and visit us. And if you've never been to Scheuermann Winery, put it on your bucket list. It's definitely a place that you'll enjoy and feel nourished in many ways by visiting. So follow us, like us, share us, and tell your friends to certainly make the trip to Westport and enjoy a better place to call home if you choose to live here. Thanks.